Broadcasting live, this is the Handicappers Report, brought to you by the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany, and CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today.
Good morning. Welcome to the Handicappers Report, taking a look at the action for Saturday, October 23rd. Seth Merrow in the studio, joined by via Zoom, Brian Nadeau. Brian, good morning.
Yeah, Seth, good to hear from you. Good morning. We're drawing in, huh? We're T-minus 2 weeks from the Breeders' Cup. Can't wait. I know we've got a lot of exciting things going on at Capital OTB. I'll be out there as well, so we can talk live, too. And we've got that seminar coming up. So it's an exciting time of year. I know all the heavy lifting is done as far as the preps are concerned, but now we can really start to fine-tune our opinions, and within a week we'll have pre-entries, and then we can really start scuffing up some PPs.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I mean, the stakes action kind of cooled down a little bit last weekend, although there was the EP Taylor up at Woodbine was a nice event that may have some Breeders' Cup implications, and Champions Day across the pond as well. But otherwise here, things had kind of cooled down going back a couple of weeks and a little longer, though. We had the lead up to the Breeders' Cup, and it's really shaping up to be a big couple of days of racing, given what we've seen earlier this year. I will go back a couple of days. Keeneland, Thursday afternoon. Dennis's Moment is back. I was handicapping, obviously, for the one sheet and whatnot, as were you. I'll ask. When I handicapped that Keeneland race, I could not pull the trigger on Dennis's Moment. You shoplifted, who looked good at about the eighth ball, but then Dennis's Moment came on, and maybe Dennis's Moment is back. I want one more race before I'm totally convinced.
Yeah, I thought he was like my lock of the century last time. I loved him. I made him the best bet of the day in the one sheet, and I'm just kind of fed up with him. So I didn't like shoplifted at all, but I was nowhere in that race. But I was, I've kind of seen enough from Dennis's Moment, and I like how you said it. I've got to see another, because he's just so Jekyll and Hyde. You know, when he's good, he's really, really good, but man, he's just so tough to trust, Seth. Hopefully Dale Romans has got him right, and he can go on to do good things. I think he was destined to do really good things before it really went off the rails there in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Somehow he's only 4 years old, which is like impossible. But, yeah, maybe he has, maybe he gets going and now has a good 5-year-old campaign for Dale. There's no doubt he's a very talented individual.
Yeah, the beginning of the career started out with such promise, but then kind of went off the rails with that Breeders' Cup debacle, and didn't get back on track until earlier this week, again on Thursday. And I'll just touch on one more thing down at Keeneland. I have Racing Across America a little bit later on. Marty McGee, who is the Kentucky correspondent for the Daily Racing Forum, so we'll talk some Keeneland with Marty. And one of the subjects I wanted to talk about, how about Tyler Gaffleone? This kid is amazing in Kentucky. I pulled up the Equibase stats as we tape this on Friday. He's got 19 wins. Second place is Florent Giraud with 9. So he's 10 ahead. We're a couple weeks in. He's already 10 ahead in the jockey standings. He's just, since he's moved to Kentucky, I mean, it showed that promise when he started out down in Florida, but since he's moved to Kentucky, and he came up here to Saratoga, and I think, given the circumstances of that kind of a situation, somebody based in Kentucky and not having all the kind of New York connections, I think he had a perfectly good Saratoga meet. He was 5th or 6th in the standings. But boy, down there in Kentucky, he's amazing. And this Keeneland meet, just knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, the foothold that he's got in Kentucky and is really remarkable. And we talked about him a few weeks ago, right? Remember back in the, I say back in the day, 3 or 4 years ago, he would come up on Wednesday and Thursday, or maybe Monday and Wednesday, and ride at Saratoga just to kind of, shake some hands and kiss some babies kind of thing. And hey, I'm Tyler Gaffleone, and it's really, really paid off. And he's going to be poised for a big winter too, because I'm almost positive Jose Ortiz is staying in New York this winter. So there's that much more of a void down at Gulfstream, and Tyler is firmly established now as an elite rider, as a top 10 rider in the country, certainly in Kentucky. He's up here, and a lot of those connections, for a guy like Brendan Walsh, he's going to have horses at Gulfstream. Different. I know Brad Cox had a division there last year. So, those guys, why they might go to Fairgrounds, while they might go to Oakland Park, a lot of them still have divisions in Kentucky, and he's going to get a foot in the door. In Florida, I should say, from Kentucky. And Tyler is really he's just poised to do great things. He's a good young kid, and he's a good rider that can ride kind of everything, too. And I think that goes a long way as well. So, yeah, the future is now for Tyler Gaffalione.
Yeah, certainly keep your eyes on him at this current Keeneland meet. Speaking of the current Keeneland meet, I'm going to be taking a look at Belmont a little bit later on. You are going to kick things off, though, with some Keeneland. You ready to jump in?
Yeah, let's do it. 10 race card here on Saturday.
Things will kick off at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon down in the Lexington area with Keeneland's Race 1 maiden 30 claimers going 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah, so the one-sheet selections here, and it's funny, but the first 4 races I have 4 A's, solo A's. It just looks relatively chalky to me. The opener 7 over the 8-1. We've got a Ward Firster. Distorted view, perfect outside attack post. Wesley's having a huge Keeneland, no shock there. 31% with firsters, 45% firsters debuting in maiden claimers. And that's from a 56-horse sample. So that's a huge number. John Velasquez is here. The outside post is perfect. There's nothing in here. You look at the proven runners, and they just do not entice whatsoever. And then you look at the other firsters, and it's just like very unappealing. I would think Distorted View at a short number is going to handle these. Number 6, Soldier Sweetheart in second. Andrew McKeever, 22% with firsters. There's a slew of works here. Again, being a debut runner is not a bad thing in this field. Slushy down inside was an okay 4th on debut for Bill Morey. That was the best of the proven runners, but it looks to me like the firsters. 7 over the 6-1 in the opener.
Race number 2 on Saturday afternoon, maiden special 2-year-olds. They're going 5.5 on the grass.
Like I said, another single, another Wesley Ward runner. 6 over the 7-12. If it's on dirt, 13, 15, 12. But Top Gun Girl just looks better than a very, 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 very soft group here. The proven runners, A, aren't much. B, several of them ran on dirt on debut, and they didn't run that well. And then you look at Top Gun Girl. She was necked out for the win at Saratoga. Now, they did better that day. That's a little disconcerting. But if she runs back to that race, she's going to win comfortably here, Seth. Number 7, Sovereign of Speed is the best of the rest. She got to turf last time for Chris Davis, who does a very good job in the Midwest. She really woke up, stuck around a lot longer than she did on debut at Prairie Meadows. She's the main danger. Number 12, Street Commander, is somewhat interesting for me. Now, the 7th foal out of the dam, the other 6 are nothing at all. But I don't really know about this Al Cates farm, but 23% on the year from, a 76-horse sample. That's solid enough. 13% with firsters. Bulleted in the holster up from Louisiana down. So maybe this horse can run a little bit. 6 over the 7-12 in race 2. That kicks off the early pick 4 set.
Turning the page to race number 3 on Saturday. We're looking at B condition claimers. 6 furlongs the trip.
2 over the 3-5. Quick return is going to be tough to beat for Fausto Gutierrez, who's done such a good job with Latruska this year. And he claimed this one off local connections at Saratoga. Came right back to win a state bred 1X. Now he's playing a little poker. You know what? I claimed her for a quarter. She won a big purse at Belmont for me. Here, you want to take her for 30? Go right ahead. I'll get another purse here as well. She's going to be really, really tough to beat at a short price. Soaring Bird for second. Maybe she can settle a little bit and get a piece underneath. Brother Aaron for third. A good figure last time, going 7 at Churchill in a starter. She's in for 30 now. I think quick return at the end of the day is just a lot better than these, Seth. 2 over the 3-5.
Race number 4. It's an optional claimer with a non-winners of 2 other than condition. 8.5 furlongs is the distance.
Here's the best bet of the day, Amelia's Moon, 3 over the 6-1. You just look at this group, and none of them are very good, quite frankly. A lot of them have sketchy form. And then here's Amelia's Moon off that very, very good third at Saratoga. Now she makes her third start for Belmont, third start of the long, long layoff. She stretches out the 2 turns. She was the Group 1 winner in Peru. So, not a big deal, but still there's some class here. And like I said, she's going to be closer today. And there's nothing in here. This is not a good group. I wrote up in the 1 sheet, if you can get 9 to 5, take it. She might be 7 to 5 in here, but you can single her in the early picks and use her to your advantage. Number 6, Beach Flower in second for Mac Robertson. Turf form at Canterbury, but prior dirt form as well. That stacks up okay in here. What are you going to get from Microcap? I have no idea. Grant Foster does such a good job, and he had this one in very, very good form. Total no-show last time. Was it the 9 furlongs? I don't know. She shortens up a little bit. She's got tactical speed. If she's back to one piece, she's got a chance in here. But off her last, she's very tough to trust. Best bet of the day, Amelia's Moon, 3 over the 6-1 in the 4th.
Race number 5, an allowance non-winners of 1 other than, scheduled for a mile on the grass.
And it's 7-5 over the 4, regardless, turf or dirt. But, War Machine for Mike Stidham is lightly raced. She's got tactical speed. He's got tactical speed because he runs as a first-time gelding. So let me correct myself there. And he's, like I said, there's a lot of upside here. Just 2 turf starts. Mike's a good one. Tyler Gaffalione, we just talked about, is here. So I like War Machine with the speed angle. Now, Caveat Emptor is clearly the one to beat for Jimmy Toner. If he runs back to the win at Churchill, he's going to double up here. But there's a couple things maybe going against him. That was a huge win last time, so he could regress a little bit. And now he's facing winners, too. So, off that big figure, facing tougher, maybe he just regresses slightly. War Machine can bridge the gap. He's got the benefit of tackling winners, too. A price in third, Major Sparks. Looked really good winning last time at Indiana Grand. Yes, this is a rising class, but he won easily. The second and third place finishers came back to win too. So it's a very, very live race. There's not a lot in here. There's no reason to think he can't make a dent against a group like this. Well, we'll call it 7-5 over the 4 in the 5th, Seth.
Yeah, Caveat Emptor, trained by Jimmy Toner, and it really looks like he has a longtime New York-based guy. I think he's down at Fair Hill now, and that's where he trains his string and then just moves out from there. Because you look at Caveat Emptor has 1 New York start. The last couple, though, Colonial, Kentucky Downs, and now Keeneland. So it looks like Jimmy Toner has kind of moved things from New York down to Fair Hill.
Yeah, he does a good job, too, especially on the turf. A long-time wonder again. You think of all those phenomenal horses that he's had over the years. Does a really, really good job.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and continue our look at Keeneland. After that, a little Belmont. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Albany County, an incredible destination to live, work, and play, with easy connections to more than a dozen cities from our vibrant modern airport. It's a short trip downtown to a hive of culture and amusement, from world-class shows at the newly renovated Times Union Center to reliving the past at the New York State Museum. From outdoor recreation to shopping to nightlife, Albany County has something for everyone. We'll see you soon.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Welcome back to the Handicapper Support for this Saturday, October 23rd. We mentioned it earlier. We are marching towards the Breeders' Cup. We are in the midst of fall. I'm sure your temperatures down in the Florida area are a little bit nicer than ours, as we've now hit 50s in the day and 30s at night. But I will say, earlier this week, I got in my last little slice of thoroughbreds up in Saratoga, as the return last year, obviously with the pandemic, we didn't have it, but the return of the Saratoga Fall Sale at the Facing-Tipton Pavilion. It was kind of fun. Monday afternoon, I popped over and saw a lot of familiar faces, Tommy Bellhouse and Terry Finley from West Point. I saw the guys from America's Pastime Partnership, who I had on with me this summer, Jason Brinkman and company. Jeremiah Engelhardt was there. A number of folks filing around, an all-day affair. It sold around 200 horses, I think. I think the results were pretty good, but it was just fun, as I say, on an October afternoon to get an opportunity to have, one little last slice of thoroughbreds up in Saratoga.
Yeah, without a doubt. I've been keeping track on the weather. I was going to try to sneak home to do some fishing with my dad, and then I pulled up the 10-day, and I said, I think I'll see you guys down here on Thanksgiving. I don't think it's going to happen, Dad. Sorry. I saw like 30s at night, and I just said, no. I think I might have caught a cold just looking at the weather app. So, yeah, I'll see them down here and catch you guys, I don't know, late next spring. How's that?
Do not blame you one bit. Although Monday afternoon it was kind of nice. There was that was kind of the end of the nice weather, so did enjoy that on Monday. All right, let's jump back in. Keeneland on Saturday afternoon, 6th race, optional claimer, non-winners to 2, 8.5 furlongs.
7-4 over the 2. Norm Cassidy doesn't claim a lot of horses, and from the start, I think Norm broke in as his own trainer with a pretty good reputation as a good horseman. Did a lot of work, with his dad, Mark's Superstars, the Tepins, the Classic Empire especially. And Norm really acquitted himself as a solid horseman. And so when a guy like that makes a claim, and, I've talked to Norm a lot this winter, and, he runs horses where they can win. And the fact that he claimed Candy Tycoon for 40 from Pletcher at Saratoga, now he runs him back in an optional claimer where he can't lose him. I think Norm likes what he's got here. This is a horse that had some talent with Todd, could never really maybe get him to where he wanted to after the second in the Fountain of Youth. But he's won 2 out of 3. Now Norm steps him up, and it's kind of a group there for the taking. And he's got speed, and I think that's going to play here because clearly Mystic Knight is the horse to beat for Chad. But, he doesn't have a lot of speed. Don't forget, this is a short finish line as well. And Mystic Knight's, burned a little money, too. And he's going to be a short number here. So I put Candy Tycoon on top off that good win last time, albeit for 40 in the rising class. But aside from the favorite, Beau Luminaire's here, too. But he doesn't have a lot of speed either. And I'm just hoping Candy Tycoon gets to run on him off the far turn. And maybe he just gets the lead that they can't catch him. Certainly Mystic Knight, the horse to beat for Chad. But again, he got blasted by Thomas Shelby last time. Thomas Shelby's okay, don't get me wrong, but he's no world beater. And, Beau Luminaire isn't a fan of winning races either. So maybe Candy Tycoon, 2 out of 3, he's won. Maybe we make it 3 out of 4 here, Seth. 7-4 over the 2 to kick off the late pick 5 on a Saturday.
Great point, and that means race number 7 kicks off the late pick 4, and the late pick 4 kicks off with stakes race, the Perryville, $150,000 up for grabs for the 3-year-old sprinting 7 furlongs.
I almost made Pickin' Time my best bet of the day because there's a lot of speed in here, and he ran well to be second to Jackie's Warrior last time, but Then I said, you know what? Someone had to be second. Maybe it was just him, and it wasn't like he threatened him that day. But Pickin' Time, since Kelly Green put him in spots that were much more realistic, has been pretty good in his last 2, and he's not going to be on the lead. And there's several in here that want to go. I mean, you got fresh speed from Soup and Sandwich. He's been tearing it up in the AM. All reports are he's been back bigger, better, stronger than ever as he comes back from the Derby. And then there's speed to the outside. Cool Quest off that maiden romp for Brian Lynch. Irish Unity, certainly Boca Boy. So there seems to be a lot of hitting up front. Pickin' Time will settle a little bit and hopefully kick past them all. I did put Soup and Sandwich in second. I do think at the end of the day he's the best horse. But you have to wonder, Seth, 7 furlongs off the layoff. Is that really what he wants to do? And it'll be an underlay. Cool Quest has the benefit of drawing outside the speed, but he's facing winners and he might bounce. I mean, that figure last time comes from nowhere. I don't know what to make of it. And then, Pipeline, another maiden special weight winner for Chad. And, he's going to be bet hard off two huge numbers. He'll be a lot lower than that 4-1 morning line. He'll probably be 9-5 in here or something. Another, go figure, another bad line at Keeneland. He's in the mix too, but he might get, he's facing winners and there's speed to both sides of him. So at least if nothing else, Picking Time's got several wins and we know he won't be involved early. 5-1 over the 8-6 and a really good, it brought this race back. They kind of had it. They don't have it. They have it. They don't have it. The Perryville, I think Nashville won it last year, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Then went on to, we were talking about that the other day, when that undercard race, the Breeders' Cup weekend, the talented.
And then you know what he went on to do after that? Run about 7th in the Malibu.
and the Malibu is going to be a lot of fun this year, obviously, with Flightline scheduled to go in there. And there are some other nice 3-year-old sprinters that certainly will point for a grade 1 at the end of the year. So looking forward to that. But that's far down a couple of months down the road. 8th race at Keeneland this afternoon, C-conditioned allowance, 1.16 miles on the grass.
Yeah, this could easily be a stakes here. I like Busy Channel. The fact that Larry Ravelli brings him in. Jared Luftberry comes in as well, the house jockey. Let's draw a line through the Kentucky Downs race. You look at his form. He won the Grade 3 Arlington 3-back. That's the old Arlington Million 2-back where, he's close to the domestic spending. He wasn't beaten less than 4 lengths. So, I like him in here. He's tactical. He draws well to sit the right kind of pressing outside trip, first run type of trip. Big agenda. He's the horse to beat. And if he improves off the comeback at Kentucky Downs last time, the rest of these are in deep water. But it was such a huge run off a long layoff. Maybe he regresses a little bit. He's also got 5 wins in 11 seconds. That's a little worrisome, too. And he's going to be an underlay, so I put him in second. Here's I think a bomb in third. He's got him at 30 on the morning line. I don't know if we're getting that. But beat Le Bon for Nacho Correas. First time Lasix. I thought he ran pretty well in the stakes race, the Lure at Kentucky Downs. In Love, who won that, came back to win the Keeneland Mile, the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Challenge race for Paulo Lobo. That's a pretty live race he comes out of. Now Lasix goes on. Don't sleep on him, especially if you're a try and super, even exacta player. He's going to be a big number underneath. He's not without hope in here. 11-4 over the 2, Seth.
And I will say this is a little bit interesting because you piqued my curiosity when you brought up Nashville. As I mentioned, we were talking in the office about that one the other day. And given that conversation today, while you were talking, I pulled it up. And yeah, last year won the first 3 races of the career, Saratoga, Keeneland Allowance to Perryville, then off the board in the Malibu Stakes, off since then. But I just pulled up Equibase. He's worked out twice in the past 3 weeks.
He's alive.
Those are the only 2 workouts showing up. But I'm guessing they're looking to get back on track with that one. It'll be interesting to see what Nashville might have in store here in the end of the 4-year-old season. I feel like I was at Fairgrounds this winter when he got nicked up, training for his campaign, and that's when it went awry. So yeah, it's good to see him back on the tab, if nothing else. Yeah, as I say, I think it was. Let me pull it up again. The 11th. There was a workout. The 17th, there was a workout. So obviously, it'll take a while to get the horse back to race readiness, but it'd be fun to see what they have planned. 9th race at Keeneland, the Raven Run, Grade 2 event, purse of $250,000 for 3-year-old fillies, sprinting 7 furlongs.
All right, what a race, huh? I mean, where it's anywhere you want to go, you can make a case. 8, 13, 7, 3, 9. So I use all of them that I can in the one sheet. I took the tactical speed of Caramel Swirl. Don't forget, the Charlestown race last time was 2 turns, and it was literally one of the biggest inside speed days of all time. If you got to the rail and you were in front, you won, period. And that's what the winner, our Adios Jersey, did, to go 6 for 6, I believe, for Georgina Baxter. Caramel Swirl ran well. I just think the trip and the circumstances beat her. Now, she's a Jekyll and Hyde, too. Good race, bad race, good race, bad race. She's got to step up and answer the bell today. She's won at Keeneland and she's a lot more tactical than her favored stablemate Obligatory, and that's why I put her on top over Obligatory, who's outside. Now, she was a lot closer in the cotillion, but don't forget, that's 2 turns, okay? So now she's cutting back. She'll get run off her feet again, and she'll come running. I just wonder if she runs out of room, and I don't know how hot the pace is going to be either. Number 7, Scylla, was really good, winning at Saratoga for Charlie Baker / Brent Brinkman, winning the Prioress. The waters are deeper here, but she's tactical. She can settle. Super Sensational's been in good form for Cassie. And then number 9, Zaina Larab for Chad. Probably needed the comeback at Saratoga. Takes a little bit time off, freshens her. Here she is here. She's got to run faster. She's got to run better. She's in the mix too, Seth. It's a tough Raven run. 8-13, 7-3-9 for me.
Nice competitive full field in there, and all leading into the finale, race number 10, scheduled to go off about 5:45 on Saturday afternoon, /evening. Allowance non-winners at 1 mile on the grass.
6, 4, 5, 10. Santon, Godolphin firster at Indiana Grand, looks really, really good. Steps up, faces winners, but he looks like he could be going places for Brendan Walsh, who doesn't typically win with firsters. Healing certainly for Maker and Gaffalione. Jin's Bird on the improve for Rusty Arnold. And then we go outside to Pine Knoll, the 10 for Brad Cox. I would not want a short price on this one from a bad post. 6, 4, 5, 10 to shut it down on a 10-race card Saturday in Lexington.
All right, let's head to a break. When we come back, we'll shift our attention to Belmont on Saturday. Stay tuned.
The Capital Region has some of the most sophisticated horse racing fans in the country. That's why Capital OTB built the Clubhouse Racebook. Here you can wager year-round on the best horse racing from around the world. The Clubhouse also has monthly promotions including live bankrolls, handicapping contests, and so much more. Like sports? Watch your favorite teams on more than 30 screens in Legends Field Sports Grill. Food, sports, and the excitement of championship horse racing. Only at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Where's the best place to find your favorite teams, your favorite food, daily drink specials, and wagering on live horse racing? Legends Field Sports Bar, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Get your game on day or night with 75 flat-screen TVs, tournament-style pool tables, a private banquet room, and live horse racing. So if someone asks you, where's the best sports bar in the Capital Region? Tell them Legends Field Sports Bar, inside the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
The Breeders' Cup World Championships have given us some of horse racing's biggest thrills and biggest payouts, like the $2.7 million Pick 6 payout back in 2003. With a long list of betting options, it's never taken so little to win so much. So don't miss your chance to share in thoroughbred racing's richest event, the Breeders' Cup. And be sure to go to capitalotbbet.com to wager and win.
Welcome back to the Saturday Handicapper Report. Brian and Seth with you. Just got through 10 at Keeneland. Seth's got you covered here at Belmont on a Saturday. A couple stakes on tap. Post early 12:35, so take note of that. The opener is at a 1-turn mile, 16K 2Ls, 3 and up.
I have a 5, 6, 11, and 7. I put Johnny Pump on top. Just seems off the past couple of races have a little bit of a buyer's edge on this bunch. Claim 2 back at this 16 level, ran 3rd, then bounced up to 30, kind of doubled the price. Still ran an okay 4th. The buyer matched up. And again, I think this buyer just has a little bit of an edge on this group, but dropping back down to 16 should break through. Johnny Pump on top. Profusion in the 2nd spot goes out for Rudy Rodriguez off a good try in a similar event last time. Similar price-wise, it was a little bit shorter, 6.5, but I don't think this mile is going to be in any kind of an obstacle given what we saw 3 back with this one. And then the 3rd spot, Speed Effect, has some speed from the outside, may live up to his name, and just try to speed pop him from the outside on a cutback from 1 1/8 up at Saratoga to this 1-turn mile down at Belmont could prove fruitful as well in the 3rd start of the season. This may wind up being the one to beat. I'll also mention Litterbox because it goes out for Eddie Epps. local connections that I always like to mention, but also trainer Gary Siaka, who has been sitting on career win number 999 for a while. So we're rooting for him to break through with the career milestone, and we'll see if he can do it in the opener on Saturday. But I have it 5, 6, 11, and 7.
Seth, I feel like that's about the 4th Saturday in a row you've mentioned that for Gary.
It never fails with
Gary.
these milestones. These guys get up to them, and then it just takes a long time to break through, no matter who they are.
Man. All right. Early pick 4 time. In the second, it's a 1X going 7 on the Widener, 3-0.
3, 7, the 1 entry, and 6. The 4 is also intriguing to me. And again, if it moves over to the dirt, of course, there are dirt selections on the 1 sheet. But I put, wait a minute, I have 5 on top on turf, excuse me. So 5, 7, the 1 entry, and 6. The 3 is my top dirt pick. So 5, 7, the 1 entry, and 6. 5, Colton's Command on top. Just off the improving buyer numbers over the past few starts. Seems to be on the improve, at least number-wise, and primed to maybe break through for Bill Mott this afternoon. Joe Rosario on board. You got to like that in a turf sprint. Second slot will go a Turn of Events. Also on a nice improving number pattern over the past few starts for George Weaver. A couple of wins bookending a close-up second-place finish indicate the horse in very good form right now, so has to be considered in the mix, no question about it. And then the 1 entry, Scuttlebuzz and Bourbon Mission. I probably prefer Scuttlebuzz slightly, but I think they're both talented enough to get up in the mix. But Scuttlebuzz comes off a nice win last time and an optional claimer that I think class-wise going to kind of match up similarly maybe to this bunch. And so another one that just seems to be in some pretty good form, has shown an affinity for the grass down at Belmont. So again, I think either one is talented enough to get it done, but I tilt maybe slightly towards preferring Scuttlebuzz. In the second, I have 5, 7, the 1 entry, and 6.
We go to the inner turf for the third. It's a maiden special weight. 2-year-old filly's going 6 in a race that looks a little live here. Gary Siaka with the first with some bullets in the holster as well.
6, 5, 8, 9, and 7. I will put Brisky Frolic on top for Todd Pletcher. Obviously, Pletcher can have firsters ready, no question about it. But this one, excuse me, has a sibling called Girl in the Yellow Taxi that won its only start. Another sibling called Tuscan Queen that was third in debut and then won the second start on turf. So Brisky Frolic looks to maybe have a little nature and nurture with some win early breeding, a win early trainer. I'll tilt in that direction. Skims in the second spot by Frankel. It's a Shug McGahee trainee. Sibling War Decree won its debut over in Ireland. A sibling called Fashion Decree won its career debut. So again, there's a little win early breeding here to hang our hat on. And then I'll go out to Leah Marina in the third spot. Of those with experience, this one certainly fired a pretty good number in debut. You know, for a 2-year-old at Saratoga, that 73 was okay. Decent little third place finish. Now a little bit of time off, maybe comes back with some added maturity. If we add to that number, this horse may be very tough this afternoon. But I thought the 2 firsters I put in were interesting. Also have to mention that our friends at Bonaventure Stables, if we're mentioning locals, Bonaventure gets a first-time starter in Always Connected, trained by George Weaver. They picked this one up at Ocala back in March, had worked 21.1 there, so we're going to root for them and their first-time starter, Always Connected. But I have it 6, 5, 8, and 9.
Didn't Dan win with the other day with at Keeneland?
Out of Keeneland.
Competitive.
And he was there, as they were talking in the paddock. As I was talking on the air, I looked up and I was talking about the Bonaventure horse and they were showing the horse and I said, well, let's just wait a minute and see him circle around the tree, see if any of the Bonaventure folks are there. And sure enough, Dan Collins was out there. So some of the locals. And I said I saw Terry Finley at Saratoga Monday for the sale. And I said, weren't you at Keeneland the other day? Because they had a winner. And he was in the winner's circle. So, yeah, seeing some locals in the winner's circle at Keeneland over the past couple of weeks. That was fun.
Terry is on like the Anthony Mormino, Craig Milkowski. How many hours do you have in your day kind of schedule everywhere? So that's why hardworking guy. We love Terry and Tommy as well. So anywho, back to the fourth year at Belmont. It's another 16K 2L, 3 and up, 6 furlongs on the main track.
5, 10, 3, and 6. I'll put Papa Smooth on top. Goes off the claim for Orlando Noda. I don't have a strong conviction here, but notice pretty good off the claim. Not thrilled that the horse was claimed at the beginning of the Saratoga meet and now comes, you don't claim and there's never a thought of, hey, let's claim a horse and come back in 3 or 4 months. That's not the claiming game plan. So again, I'm a little bit leery there, but the horse has had a steady string of workouts over the past few weeks. And so if this horse comes back and is ready to run, a tepid nod in that direction. Irish Giant goes out for Linda Rice. Debut win at a 25 state bred tag. Second in a follow-up at this 16 N2L level. And then last time off a layoff, tried Starter Allowance Company. That proved to be just too salty. This one is getting back clearly to the comfort zone price-wise. So I think Irish Giant may wind up being the one to beat. And Ernie Banker in the 3rd spot, another one getting some class relief, but also coming off a layoff that maybe makes you question the class drop and what that means exactly, especially given that this horse was pulled up and vanned off last time. So I think the horse has the talent that you have to consider it, but also has some questions that have to be answered. 4th at Belmont, 5, 10, 3, and 6.
Back to the Widener for the 5th, kicks off that dollar pick 6. A state bred maiden special weight for 2-year-olds. We go a mile and a 16th.
4, 13, 6, and 5. The 13's an AE. If that one doesn't get in, take a look at the 8. But I put Sir John on top. Belmont trainee that was okay in debut. Again, it's another one. It's kind of a tepid vote I'm giving here. There was enough there in the debut that, as compared to the other ones that have run, probably gets a slight edge. And I just didn't see any of the firsters that really jumped off the page at me. So again, I'll tilt slightly in that direction. Kingham Hill is the first runner on the AE list, so it's just going to need one scratch to get in. That is not impossible, obviously, but certainly improved from start 1 to start 2 with the move over to the turf. Won't surprise me if the Dave Donk runner improves with that experience under the belt. And then Meseta, the number 6 horse in the 3rd spot. Pretty similar to the top pick, actually, and in fact finished in front of that one in that there was a career debut with a pretty good-looking number that this horse can build off of. I say it all the time. Sometimes we try to get too clever and switch up finishing positions. I'm doing it here, and more often than not, it works out the other way. I just kind of looked at Sir John and thought maybe a little more upside potential, but we'll see if that's the case or not. Again, if you like one, you certainly have to have the other in the mix as well. For me in the 5th, 4, 13, 6, and 5. And again, if the 13 doesn't get in, take a look at the 8.
All right, that'll bring us to another break on the Handicapper Report. 5 down at Belmont. When Seth comes back, late pick 5 time. Stay tuned.
The Breeders' Cup World Championships have given us some of horse racing's biggest thrills and biggest payouts, like the $2.7 million Pick 6 payout back in 2003. With a long list of betting options, it's never taken so little to win so much. So don't miss your chance to share in thoroughbred racing's richest event, the Breeders' Cup. And be sure to go to capitalotbbet.com to wager and win.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Oops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Welcome to Albany County, an incredible destination to live, work, and play, with easy connections to more than a dozen cities from our vibrant modern airport. It's a short trip downtown to a hive of culture and amusement, from world-class shows at the newly renovated Times Union Center to reliving the past at the New York State Museum. From outdoor recreation to shopping to nightlife, Albany County has something for everyone. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back to the Saturday edition of the Handicappers Report. Ryan and Seth with you. We got through 10 at Keeneland on a Saturday in Lexington, 5 down at Belmont, 5 more to go, which means it's late pick 5 time in race 6. We go back to the inner turf, 3 and up in a $50K starter allowance.
5, 9, 1, and 8. I'll put Ring of Fire on top for Rob. Couple of starts, most recently end of August up at Saratoga. Nice win to break the maiden at a 50 tag, and then followed up in a starter allowance. Similar event to this one, and ran a pretty good second. I think off of those two and some nice improvement number-wise, this horse is primed to run well this afternoon. I'll put that one on top, see if that 6-1 morning line holds up. Dylan Davis having a really good meet as well. Fair-haired boy in the second spot. Safi Joseph, trainee, comes off a third-place finish in a conditional claimer up at Saratoga last time, ran second in a similar event, 2 starts back, similar to the last time. But now jumping into this starter allowance, this is maybe a little bit saltier competition, but if this horse can keep the progression over the last couple of races, number-wise, moving in that direction, could be a player in here at a 6-1 price on the morning line. And then in the third spot, Determined Fury goes out for our friends at West Point Thoroughbreds and Company for Christophe Clement. Been in the hunt the last few starts, and overall in the hunt 5 times in 7 starts, has hit the board. So I think this is a horse that at the very least you have to consider in the mix. But from the inside post position can be a player from the get-go as well. In the 6th at Belmont, 5, 9, 1, and 8.
Race 7 kicks off the late pick 4 back on the main track. State-bred 2-year-old filly maidens going 6.
4, 3, 5, and 6. I put Sweet Lies on top. Paid $125,000 for this New York bred at Ocala in April. Worked 21 flat before that sale. There's a sibling called Street of Dreams that was third in debut, won the second career start. So again, a little win early. Twirling Candy on top. Worked well before the sale. Attracted a decent amount of money for a New York bred. Graham Motion can have them ready. I'll tilt in that direction. Glittering Prize in the second slot goes out for Jim Bond. Debuted at Colonial in another barn. In an off-the-turfer, showed some speed before fading. I think with that one under the belt and coming back up to New York to face the New York breds, Glittering Prize is going to be a little bit intriguing in here. Again, with that experience under the belt. And then in the third slot, we'll go with another firster, Cupid's Heart. Bullet Workout coming into this. Not thrilled about this one. Again, there wasn't anything jumping off the page at me otherwise. So I just kind of landed here by default as I looked. And of those that had run, there was nothing to get the juices flowing beyond the horse I had in the second spot. And Roddy Valenti's horse, Doc Rock, who I think in the third career start maybe is a little bit interesting for Todd Pletcher. I mean, we're a daughter of Into Mischief, hasn't quite lived up to that in the first couple, but may benefit from those two. So again, it's another race where I don't have a super strong opinion, but I thought Sweet Lies, tracking the price, the 21 flat work before the sale. I'll tilt slightly in that direction. In the 7th, 4, 3, 5, and 6.
Couple of graded stakes on the turf coming up. Race 8 starts at the Noble Damsel. 3-year-old fillies and mares 3 and up. It's a grade 3. We go a mile.
Yeah, I'm going to tilt towards the obvious in here and Tam here. 10, 1, 5, and 3. I just couldn't get by the 105 buyer last time. Now, it does have the look of a little bit of an aberration. Was on the front end all the way around there. Tried the front end up at Saratoga in the Boston Spa and just couldn't hold off. A little bit of a late charge to wind up a really close up 4th. But off of those two and that number last time, I'll go here for the Chad Brown runner. Second slot, In a Hurry, goes out for Shug McGahee off a couple of nice tries, most recently up at Saratoga. Just missed, then came back down to Belmont and won very nicely. A couple of improving buyer numbers have this one moving in the right direction. And then Shifty She in the third spot comes in for Safi Joseph off a trying a stakes race at Kentucky Downs last time. Decent little 4th place finish, but up at Saratoga, 2 starts back was 3rd, and down at Gulfstream, 3 starts back. Again, all stakes action, 1. And so I think this is a horse that certainly on the numbers and on the form over the past few starts deserves to be considered. And given the fact that this horse tossed in a bullet just a week ago at Palmettos, says that they looked at this spot and thought, we have a horse that's in pretty good form right now. Let's go to New York and give this one a shot. So for me, in the 8th at Belmont, 10, 1, 5, and 3.
Race 9 is the Hill Prince, grade 2 for 2-year-olds, 400,000 on the line. We go a mile and an 1/8 on the inner turf.
I have it 11, 9, 10, and 8. I put Soldier Rising on top for Christophe Clement. Couple of second-place finishes since coming over from Europe, Saratoga Derby and the Jockey Club Derby Invitational. I think those were two good performances. Certainly number-wise, they match up nicely with this group. So I'll tilt slightly in that direction. Public Sector goes out for Chad Brown off a couple of nice wins, couple of nice stakes wins, the Hall of Fame and the Saranac, both up at Saratoga. So a horse that is in just kind of raging form right now off of those two nice wins. Stakes wins up at Saratoga. Never Surprising goes out for Todd Pletcher. Started the career with 2 wins as a 2-year-old, including a stakes win. The 3-year-old campaign hasn't been quite as good in that there's was a gap in there to begin with and a couple second-place finishes, but it was a couple second-place finishes in stakes action. And the last race was off a long layoff. It was a second-place finish, 2 Public Sector, and it may have given this horse some fitness to build on in only the 5th career start. So very dangerous. Sifting Sands, I think, is going to be interesting off the past couple of wins. One at 28-1 for a Chad Brown trainee, which shocked everybody up at Saratoga, but then followed up. I had the horse on top the day the horse won at 8-1, and I was quite happy with that price up there. I'm not sure we're going to get those kind of numbers exactly. It's still 8-1 on the morning line, and again, this is a salty field, but if those numbers do pop up, take an extra look at Sifting Sands, because has gotten it done at decent prices in the past too. In the 9th at Belmont, 11, 9, 10, and 8.
All right, let's close it down at 5:23 in the PM. The 10th, it's a maiden special weight 2-year-old filly state bred, 6 on the main track.
9, 6, 4, and 5 will put Can't Hurry Love on top. Tried the turf last time and wound up just getting caught. Good second in there, though. So a little turf to dirt move. The dirt races underneath are okay and match up nicely with this group. So I think the whole scenario says Can't Hurry Love looks kind of promising in here. Our reward for Bruce Brown at 15-1. I thought this horse was a little bit intriguing. A long string of workouts down at Gulfstream that wind up with a workout on October 2nd. Then the next workout showing is at Belmont on the October 16th by Cantheros, who is a win early kind of a sire. And I just thought it was intriguing that the horse had been working down in Florida, and then they look up and say, you know, there's $75,000 up for grabs in New York for a New York bred. Let's get this one up there and see if we can work some magic. So at 15-1, I'll play around with Our Reward and Silver Fist in the 3rd spot. Couple of starts so far, a couple of nice improving starts. Nice, comparatively speaking, I think matches up well with this group. So in the 10th and final at Belmont, 9, 6, 4, and 5. All of which brings us to the end of this edition of the Handicapper's Report. Seth, Merrow, and Brian Nadeau taking a look at a little Keeneland, a little Belmont. If you didn't get a chance to write all the selections down, don't forget, you can go to the website, click on the Handicapper's Report link, and find the one sheet there every racing afternoon. Keeneland in New York, racing afternoons. Brian, appreciate the thoughts and the conversation, and certainly wish you good luck this afternoon.
Sounds good, Seth. You as well. Everybody back home, stay warm, and we're drawing in Breeders' Cup. Can't wait. We'll catch it up again next week.
The countdown has started. Brian, appreciate it. All right, we'll wrap it up for the Handicapper's Report for this Saturday. Stay tuned. Up next, Racing Across America.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.